Alright, so hello everyone. Welcome to the video. I just wanted to say before it starts that I hope you appreciate the work that went into this. It took me probably about a couple hours to record it, and it's been sitting on my hard drive for probably 2 weeks now, because I just haven't gotten the energy to do it, and I'm a procrastinator, so that's no good. Um, so yeah, I hope you enjoy the video, and that you hopefully want more to come after it, because there's a whole bunch of other stuff that I can cover in the game. So that's about it. Hope you enjoy.
The history of the Hylotl species goes back thousands of years, and is one of the most rich within the game. It tells a tale of the beginnings of life, war between allies, and the new order that has spawned from this hardship. In the beginning, the Hylotl were mere ocean dwellers that created cities from the rock and sand that was found below the waves. Their home planet was Koiku, and is said to have been a very temperate place, filled with marshes and rivers, so this is just how the species evolved over the years. Eventually, however, the need for expansion went further than the marshes and rivers, and met land. When the Hylotl emerged from the waves, they discovered that the land above did not have the threats that lie below, and as such, went about developing technologies that were not able to be created under the water, such as smelting metal and fabrication of metallic armor. These revelations did not come without a price, however, as the dire need for land and expansion soon exploded into war all across the land, and with the inhabitants of these lands being led by great generals dubbed Koibi, who gained their power from the faith that they would lead their land to victory. War became commonplace within Hylotl society, to the point that the Koibi were forced to relocate their troops to guard their villages, as the species was close to extinction. These years of desperation gave birth to a new breed of thought that quickly spread into the new generation. Those that were of this new breed quickly rose to the rank of leaders, and threw the rank of Koibi aside, and met again with their enemies, where rather than crossing blades, they exchanged gifts and kind words. With the lands now reunited, the Hylotl were able to thrive on the land as well as the ocean. With the age of war behind them, the leaders of the New World turned their eyes to the future of their culture. Great advancements in all aspects of life were numerous, and it was not long before the great Hylotl cities floated among the waves, with their citizens using boats or swimming channels to get from place to place. Hylotl tadpoles were raised in nurseries close to the surface, and were given to a random family once they emerged into their true form, as the Hylotl believed that birth should not define one's place within society, as that is how the original Koibi emerged. And despite all the peace and advancements in the Hylotl society, there was still a need for warfare to defend the cities from the creatures that inhabited both the land and the sea. But due to the years of peace, the average citizen had developed a great distaste of killing, and so the Hylotl developed two ways to get their soldiers. The first was to take them from the scum of their society, who were not above using violence. The second method was to give the most physically able of the tadpoles a special training, becoming the new Koibi that were to look over groups of troops. Many were gathered from these methods, and the typical unit consisted of 100 Hylotl troops being led by 4 Koibi. As technology crawled along, the Hylotl eventually discovered the means to explore space. While the majority of Hylotl society viewed this advancement as a great achievement, the Koibi saw the threat that was presented within this new opportunity to expand. They pleaded their case to the leaders of the Hylotl society, and as such were granted large ships with barracks to house their men, along with anything that they may want to keep, that they may need to keep their troops fed and their gear maintained. Each sector that the Hylotl colonized was given a set amount of Koibi to protect them from the dangers that these new settlements faced. But no matter how much the Koibi protected the general public, they were still regarded as a necessary evil for the expansion of the species. Most of the Hylotl society advocated for peaceful resolutions and a unity of the circle of life, of which these Koibi were still a part of, despite the constant teachings of the war that almost destroyed the Hylotl. With the concerns of the public in mind, technology still continued on, with new armor and weapons becoming available to the military, and new advanced ways to live life to the general public. With the public still concerned with the need of the Koibi, the decision was made in the chambers of the government to give codes to the local governments that would shut down all weapons and ships of the Koibi and lock them in their advanced suits of armor. As expected, the Koibi had many protests to this decision, all of which fell upon deaf ears. When force was not necessary, the diplomacy of the Hylotl became the force that was used. This diplomacy was what let the Hylotl achieve contact with other species with virtually no conflict. It is even said that the third eye that the Hylotl possessed developed so that they could read paperwork faster. There was one time, however, where this diplomacy did not work. The Hylotl's first encounters with the species known as the Florin were recorded as brief conflicts as Hylotl colonists began encountering flesh-eating plants. The Koibi sent their forces to combat this new threat, but even with the scientific advantage that the Hylotl possessed, the Florin simply outnumbered them in most cases. This new form of guerrilla warfare was something that the Hylotl was not experienced with up until now, and the Florin excelled at it. When the Koibi saw that there was something drastic that needed to be done, they turned their voices to the government, and a debate raged in their ranks. Some Koibi believed that the only way to combat this new threat was to hit them with everything they have until it is eradicated, while others stated that their own citizens should be more important and it was their duty to protect them. The government voted for the non-aggression policy. For the most part, the general populace was spared the gory details of the ongoing conflicts, mostly just seeing what they were fed through the news and papers. As the public looked forward in desperation to the Florin threat, several files were leaked by an unknown source that revealed the Koibi were funding bioweapon research, something that was considered taboo within Hylotl society. Those that were involved had their codes used against them, and were brought back to Koiku to stay on trial, their ships still filled with prototype biobombs. The trial still went on, however, and soon the Hylotl found themselves on the brink of disaster. Several hundred hijacked ships had appeared in Koiku's orbit, each containing hundreds of Florin. The defenses that the Hylotl had could not keep up with the sheer amount of ships that were constantly appearing, and as such the Koibi were freed from their prisons to aid with the planetary evacuation before escaping on their own ships. No longer bound by the failsafe codes, one by one they watched as the signals from city after city went silent. It is unknown when the order was given, who gave it, or if they knew the true potency of the biobombs that they carried in their ships, but it is known that once all Koibi had left their orbit, they formed around the planet and released every bomb they had onto the surface of the planet. The virus contained within it did as it was meant to, and eradicated all plant life within the Florin, but also began consuming all plant matter on the planet. Few Florin escaped the massacre by using their FTL drives, and the Koibi lost their title, now becoming Fumeyona, or simply Fume. Before the ships dispersed, a single message was relayed between all Koibi ships. The message was that the Koibi had acquired the codes that bound them, and urged all those that wished to fight the Florin to do the same before the codes were reset. Many used their FTL drives to fight the Florin, while some stayed their hands to go back to their old ways of playing Protector. While the Hylotl government denied and continues to deny the events that took place on their planet, a good amount of rogue Fume forces continue to patrol space, using their powers where they see fit. The result is mixed, as sometimes a ship will jump to a village that is being attacked by pirates or Florin, and other times where the Fume attack colonies of friendly Florin, acting no differently than the bandits they once fought against. As for the general public, they are also divided. Some see the Fume as heroes, their actions acceptable, and some will even greet and trade with the Fume troops in secret. The rest of the citizens still stick to their pacifist ways, stating that open warfare goes against everything their ancestors taught them.